Hey, what it do? This is Mongo Slade. Welcome to Three Count Commentaries, and today we're going to talk about Royal Rumble Retrospective 2010, the last Royal Rumble for Shawn Michaels. And I gauge Royal Rumbles by not just looking at the winner, but looking at the match and the story and different things like that are involved. So looking at the A story, the B story, the C story, the Iron Man, and the Final Four. This match, I honestly did not remember who won when because I was going through a list of like Royal Rumbles and trying to figure out which ones were kind of weird and which ones were kind of special. And I was like, 2010. I don't remember who won this Royal Rumble, but I know it was Shawn Michaels' last Royal Rumble because it was the Royal Rumble leading to WrestleMania 26. And I remember the story going in because it was the A story, which is Shawn Michaels and his burning desire to wrestle Undertaker again at WrestleMania. That was the A story going into this. And it was excellent. The B story, I believe, was CM Punk and being straight edge savior. He got a good chunk of time here in this match. The C story obviously was Edge's return, which nobody expected, which took place actually during this match. So that was all interesting. Shawn Michaels, the Iron Man, and let's go through this whole ordeal. Number one was Dolph Ziggler. Number two was Evan Bourne. I don't know if they ever started a match with two guys people cared about less. Not just, these guys were just young. Like nobody knew who they were. They really wasn't over with the audience, but they were good workers. And they had these two guys stand in the ring, and they had to position the camera under, the WrestleMania 26 sign. They had them look at the sign and everything. It was very unnatural. It was very unnatural, but whatever. And then CM Punk came in number three, and this was when CM Punk did his Sermon on the Mount, where he was being a straight edge savior, and he had created the straight edge religion, which was excellent stuff, by the way. This to me is better than all the other stuff that he was doing. CM Punk as Jesus is great shit. I don't know why I have a thing for guys doing Jesus gimmicks, because I liked when Seth Rollins started doing it too. But Punk as Jesus was great. And him trying to indoctrinate and convert the various guys who came out. Like, he didn't even try with JTG, really. He kind of tossed him out. But he tried to convert the great Khali, who came in at number 5. JTG was number 4. And I forgot all about the concept of the Punjabi Playboy. I was like, oh, Lord. And it reminded me so much of the world's largest love machine, Viscera. And it's like, that's so gross. Like, these big, huge dudes as being guys that women love is really gross. Far much. It's so weird. I hate when they do that. Beth Phoenix was number 6. Beth Phoenix eliminated the Great Khali by kissing him. She pulled his head down to kiss him and pulled him over the top rope. And then she caught a GTS and got thrown over the top rope. So that was pretty cool. CM Punk is obviously, he's preaching the entire time during this. Any breaks in the action, he's preaching. And he's talking about, how much courage and strength and all this stuff that it takes to be straight edge. And it's easy to be weak and that he's better than everybody else. And it was really good stuff. Like CM Punk is a really great mic guy. And he did kind of cast some pearls before swine when it comes to WWE. Because this should have worked. This should have been main event level. He was working main events and stuff like that, but it was excellent shit. And they burned it. Like, they just killed it all, And this is when he hit the Big Show wall, The Rey Mysterio stuff when he was doing the straight edge. Oh, it was fantastic. Fuck. And then he hit the Big Show wall. And then it was all Big Show all the time. It was 3-on-1 and Big Show still wins. And it was awful. It was fucking awful. He should have quit then, if we're being honest. I probably would have. Number 8 was Triple H. And Triple H and CM Punk actually felt like a big time standoff. It felt decent. Like when they were standing in front of each other, Triple H was pretty massive, but CM Punk wasn't much smaller. Like, he was shorter, maybe a little bit skinnier in the arms, but he felt like a legitimate threat to Triple H. Of course, Triple H, kicked his ass. Number 9 was a young, fresh-faced Drew McIntyre. This was Drew McIntyre's first Royal Rumble, which was Shawn Michaels' last Royal Rumble. Interesting, very interesting. Ted DiBiase Jr. was number 10. John Morrison was number 11. Kane was number 12. Jomo looked fantastic in this. I mean, he did a tilt-a-whirl DDT that I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. CM Punk tried to do the GTS to Triple H, and Triple H countered it and threw him over the top rope, which sucked. Because this came like, whenever CM Punk has got something going, Triple H is there to snuff it out. And it started to be a kind of a thing, like when CM Punk was like super over in like 2012, then Triple H had to beat him. And I don't think that match really killed his career or anything like that. But then they were also trying to say, oh, well, he's supposed to wrestle Triple H at WrestleMania in 2014 when he actually quit. And he was like, I don't need this shit. I'm out of here. So it kind of seemed like him and Triple H had a personal beef. And I actually believe that's the issue, if I remember correctly. His issues was with Triple H. But, it says a lot that he was really in a strong position here early, but he was gone unnecessarily because he could have hung in there a little bit longer. But, they had to get him out of there. That sucks. Number 12 was Kane. Number 13 was Cody Rhodes, who Matt Striker called the seed of a dream. He's the seed of a dream. Jesus. Number 14 was MVP, who was promptly bopped across his head with the U.S. title by The Miz. This is when The Miz was actually, being built up. And the MVP is a babyface. And I remember MVP as a babyface, they tried to use like his armed robbery and stuff like that as a way to make him relatable, that he's kind of on a redemption run. And I wonder why that didn't work. I really do. Maybe it's because they paired him up with people who were bullshit. Like, I remember when it first started, he was on Raw. And yes, I know the MVP character shouldn't be a babyface anyway, and that's, part of the issue. But he had an interesting story that he was trying to, and they paired him up with Jack Swagger. He's a criminal. I don't want to wrestle criminals. And I was like, ugh. Frustrating. Fuck Jack Swagger. Number 15 was Carlito, my dude Carlito. Number 16 was The Miz. And as soon as The Miz came out, he hit Carlito with a small skull-crushing finale. And MVP came back and beat up The Miz, and both MVP and The Miz went over the top rope at the same time. Number 17 was Matt Hardy, who was eliminated almost immediately after he did, I think, a couple of twists of fate, but he wasn't in there very long. I think Matt Hardy might have been injured around this time. Either that or this was just around the time they was burying him. Like, they were shitting on Matt Hardy a lot. And I'm of the opinion that if Matt Hardy was ever going to be a main event guy, it would have been 2005 when he got fired from WWE for making a big deal out of Lita fucking Edge. And then he went to the independents. He went to the Ring of Honor. And I think he was a top guy there. I think he was actually one of the main event guys there. And then he came back and he worked this huge feud with Edge. And they didn't capitalize on that. They kind of just, after he lost the match went to SmackDown, I expected him to sort of become a big deal. And they burnt me because he just became a job guy. He just got beat up all the time. And I remember thinking, I think Christian moved over either the next year or that same year and thinking, okay, this is Christian's big chance too. And then they just had Christian lose to Batista on TV, and that was it. I believe that was 06 though. Or was that 05? Somebody in the comment section remind me. But I'm pretty sure that Christian was super over on Raw, but they refused to push him to the main event. And then they just put him on SmackDown, and then he did the job to Batista, and that was it. Like, they killed him almost immediately. Like, they have this huge problem, and that's why they're in a situation where they have guys at the top for 9 years and shit. Because they just, whenever somebody gets over, and they just kind of like, why is this guy over? They just go, have Batista powerbomb him or have Cena tap him out or something like that, and then it's over. Matt Hardy didn't even get that treatment. He was out there losing to, just about everybody, Finley and shit. Number 18 was HBK. And Shawn Michaels, of course, kicked into his story where he came in, eliminated a bunch of guys almost immediately. Him and Drew McIntyre was double teamed by Shawn and Triple H, and they worked together to throw him out. John Cena was number 19, and Cena comes in. He's beating up HBK and Triple H at the same time, which says a lot. You just had a young guy get jumped by these same two guys and get thrown over the top rope. And then Cena comes in and almost flawless victory, knocks them both around like bowling pins. Like it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. So they get the upper hand, and Shawn Michaels later would eliminate Triple H via super kick. Shelton Benjamin was number 20. Shelton Benjamin came in and he put in some pretty good work. Shelton Benjamin laid down a couple of guys, so it was pretty cool. He took out Cena and HBK. He didn't eliminate them, but he knocked them down. And then Yoshitatsu was number 21. The Big Show was number 22. Mark Henry was number 23. Chris Masters was number 24. They had a lot of young guys in this match. Most of these young guys, by the way, never made it anywhere. Dolph is the only one that's still around. And Drew just came back a few years ago. But most of the other young guys in this match, Carlito, Cody, Morrison. Well, Morrison just came back too. Chris Masters. All these guys are gone. And they basically massacred an entire generation. And I think I did a video on that. If I haven't, somebody remind me to do it. But WWE has a lost generation of guys. Pretty much beginning at 2006, 2007, there was like a chunk of talented dudes that could have been stars that they just let leave. And some of them came back, like John Morrison and Lashley. But a lot of them never came back, and that really hampered their main event scene where you had Cena versus Edge 100 times and Cena versus Orton 100 times. It's because they had some guys on the roster, they just treated them like shit, Number 25 was R-Truth. R-Truth eliminated Big Show and Mark Henry. I mean, they were tangled up together and dangling over the top rope anyway, but that's still pretty cool that they trusted R-Truth to do that. Number 26 was Jack Swagger. Who cares? Number 27 was our boy Kofi Kingston. Young Kofi, too. He's still there, so I guess he counts. Number 28 was Chris Jericho. Number 29 was the surprise entrance of Edge, who got a monster reaction. And number 30 was Batista. So Edge eliminated Chris Jericho. I don't remember what they were fighting for. Like, they were partners when Edge was in the match. They were partners, right? Right before Edge got injured, his Achilles injury. And I think maybe Jericho had made some comments about Edge being injury prone or something like that. Because I think that's when they replaced him with the Big Show. And they created Jericho, which was a real dumb idea. But I think he might have made some comments about Edge. But they tried to act like he is the one that injured Edge. He wasn't. He was partners with Edge when Edge got hurt. So when Batista came in, there was only 3 other people in the ring, which is very, very strange that most of the match was over. By the time number 30 came in, most of the match was over. And so when Batista came in, you had all former WrestleMania main eventers in the match, which I thought was pretty cool. Of course, it says a lot that you had a lot of young guys in it, and nobody was in this spot getting a rub. Again, they massacred an entire generation of people. Shawn pretty much ruled the ring. Super sweet chin music on Cena and Batista. Him and Edge ended up on the ring apron. I think it was via a clothesline where they were fighting on the ring apron over the top rope, of course. Shawn Michaels super kicked Edge, who went back into the ring. And this one, Batista blindsided Shawn Michaels and knocked him out of the ring. And this led to Shawn putting on an Oscar-winning performance of being eliminated as he tries so desperately to grab that rope as Batista batted at his hands. And then Shawn looking completely and totally dejected and pulling at his hair and being so upset. He was so distraught that he lost this match. And the action stopped. Like, they stopped fighting. Guys just found a corner and hugged it. I know some people hate this stuff because it's very staged, but they gave Shawn an opportunity to go to just melt down because he wanted this Undertaker match so badly. And now he's not going to get it. He even tries to get back in the ring, and the referee's like, no, Shawn, you're done. It's over. It's over. It is over. You got to get out of here. You lost. I don't know what you do. And Shawn's like, no, this cannot be. And he got to put on his Oscar-winning performance. He got to do his best Meryl Streep, and I think he may even super kick somebody. He super kicked the ref. I think it was Lil Nate. Charles Robinson got super kicked, and he was frustrated and stormed off. And people clapped. They showed some appreciation for Shawn and all the effort that he did. And it left Cena, Batista, and Edge as the last three. And Cena eliminated Batista, and that left Cena versus Edge as the last two, and we got no duel. Edge eliminated Cena almost immediately. So this match was very weak. The best parts about it was the Shawn story and the CM Punk stuff. And the Edge stuff was okay, but you could tell Edge had come back early and was likely, I'm not going to say he's putting his health at risk to show back up, but I think they wanted to make sure that he was slotted in a main event when he went to go heal and finish his healing process. Because they say he's supposed to be out for 14 months. He was only out for 8. And so that means WrestleMania was 3 months later. So maybe 11 months. He was probably, I don't know if he wrestled after that. I think he probably did. But the WrestleMania 26 was a fun event. Because you got Cena versus Batista, which was really fun. And of course, the classic Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. The last dance, I guess you can call it, for those guys. So it was really good. But this Royal Rumble was very weak. It was very, most of the guys that were in it had no chance. And that's most of the Royal Rumbles anyway. But you also had not a lot of focus on a lot of other people who are in it. Like, I enjoyed the MVP and Miz stuff because I had completely forgotten about it. But it made me actually think to myself, I wonder what happened after this. Because they had wrestled earlier on in the night. And then at this situation, the Miz just tore his head off with this with this title. And it looked like, MVP was not going to make it to the Royal Rumble. And then he came back. So that was very interesting. But they didn't really do much of that for anyone else. There was just, of course, as the match began to evolve, you can do more with more people, But this was a fairly weak match with a fairly generic finish. And, it led to a match that I didn't like. Because I didn't like Jericho versus Edge. Sorry. I'm pretty sure some people might have liked it. I didn't really like that shit. But let me know what you guys think of Royal Rumble 2010 in the comment section below. Like this video. Share this video. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys. And I'll talk to you guys again later.
Da 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 da.